Hi, this is film marketer Jeremy of tubervideo.com and ddsvideo.com. I'm excited about working with you on an upcoming video project. And first, let me just take a moment and thank you for your help in doing that video project. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to help. Thank you. Now, I'm going to do my best to make sure that you have a fun and enjoyable time. This is especially true if you've never been on set before. Now, I know being in front of these lights and the cameras, it definitely can be a little intimidating. However, it's my job to make sure that you look and sound great. And I absolutely specialize in working with people who might be a little shy around the camera. Truth be told, I have always been nervous about being on camera, so I know what it feels like. I'm going to make sure that you are comfortable and you're feeling confident before we start rolling any cameras at all. Now, I'm sorry to break in on the action here, but I gotta share something with you. I have already recorded this video probably 3 or 4 times already. I have messed up several times. The dog started barking, the camera cut out, and that happens. It's cool. But as I was kind of thinking about it, I wanted you to see, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is I wanted you to see that somebody who has been on camera a lot, probably a lot more than you have, still has blunders, still has outtakes, and we make mistakes, and that's okay. I can easily fix all of these mistakes that were made in the video and no one would know it. It's through editing magic and I can certainly do it. Alright, so let's get back to the video, but if it's okay with you, I'm going to let the cameras roll and you're going to see firsthand everybody stumbles, including me. Now, before we start filming, I want to share some advice and some tips with you, and I'm certainly hoping that they're going to be helpful to you. However, in that said, if there's something that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to ask questions, voice any concerns that you have. I want to be helpful to you. I know what it's like to be on set for the first time. It can be a little scary, so if there's something that's weighing on your mind, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk with you about it. With that said, here are a few tips that I would want you to keep in mind. Number 1, arrive 15 minutes early. Give yourself the chance to relax a little. You want to have a beverage, have some water, ask some questions. Just get used to the lights and the cameras, especially if you've never done it before. If you rush in at the last minute, you're going to probably look a little uptight on camera, and that's something that we probably want to avoid. Number 2, a question that I'm often asked is, what do I wear? So you look your best on camera. I'm going to cover that right now. I'm going to provide you with a list of things that I would suggest you not wear. You avoid wearing these things. Number 1, brightly colored clothing, like neon color, stuff you'd have to wear sunglasses to dim it down. Avoid those. Number 2, clothes that have tight or really intricate patterns or something like that on your shirt or blouse. Avoid those. Clothes that are pure white, pure black, or pure red. Try to avoid those if you can. Clothes that have large logos or brand names on them, unless we're promoting somebody specifically, I'd avoid those. Large and obtrusive jewelry, really shiny big jewelry, can be distracting on camera. It can also make a lot of noise. The next thing I'd avoid are hats. Nothing against hats, but for a video shoot, we definitely, unless otherwise suggested, we want to avoid those. And last, it's eyeglasses. They can definitely be distracting with the reflections. However, if that's uncomfortable for you, or if it's unsafe for you not to wear your glasses, then please go ahead and wear them. If you're okay with not wearing them, maybe not. So when deciding how to dress, my best advice to you is to just dress appropriately. If you're not sure what that is, just make sure that you ask. There is absolutely no shame in asking. Remember that this video is going to probably be seen 3 to 5 years into the future, so invest a little time before the day of the shoot to make sure that you plan out what you're going to wear. For example, I probably wouldn't wear a 3-piece suit for a promotional video for, say, a fast food restaurant that caters to kids. And I probably wouldn't wear a tank top, sunglasses, and flip-flops for a promotional video for a funeral home. So dress appropriately. If you do have specific questions about what you should wear, ask them as soon as possible. The thing that you don't want to do is to wait until you show up on set and then say, yeah, I've got a couple of questions about what I should wear. At that point, yeah, it's kind of too late to ask at that point. So One last point here in this section is that if you're not sure, if you're really not sure what would be appropriate, my suggestion is to wear or to bring a couple of changes of clothes and then decide when you arrive. Definitely resist the thought in, you know, it's a bother, I probably won't need it anyway. From first-hand experience and second-hand experience, one of the worst feelings you can have is not having the clothes, a change of clothes that you kind of wanted, or an outfit on set that would have been so easy to bring with you. Just leave it in the car. If you don't need it, it's not a big deal. One last thing is, if you do bring a change of clothes, make sure there's a little variety in what you're bringing. So if you brought 3 red shirts that were virtually identical, probably not going to help you too much. I'm going to take a break right now, and I'm going to jump right back in. Moving on now, when it comes to personal grooming, I do have a couple of recommendations for you, and again, I'm hoping that they're going to be helpful to you. The first thing is make sure that you get a good night's sleep. You know, if you're tired, if you're lethargic, kind of under the weather, the camera will show it. Now, I'm going to do my best to hide that, but if and when possible, make sure that you're good and rested when you arrive on set. Second is, I would encourage using makeup. Now, if you're uncomfortable with it, that's okay with me, but consider maybe a powder that can reduce the shininess of your skin, kind of even out those skin tones, as well as maybe a concealer underneath the eyes to kind of reduce the dark circles. And you know, every now and again, everyone's got a blemish, so take care of those if you're open to that, or take care of those blemishes if that's. See, again, I screw up too, so how about that? We're gonna back up a little bit because that wasn't so good. So. Use a concealer that kind of reduces the dark circles under your eyes, or even something that would hide a blemish or two. Everyone gets those. So I know that some folks might be a little bit apprehensive about using makeup, but I'll be honest with you, I've never had somebody arrive on set and wear makeup, saw themselves in the video, and then regretted that they used it. So again, it's really up to you, but I would encourage it. In fact, feel free to bring your own makeup, your hairbrush, hairspray, whatever personal products you'd like. And when you arrive, you're welcome to step into the bathroom, just get everything the way that you want working for you before we start rolling. You're more than welcome to do that. And again, if you'd like to bring your own personal care products, that's absolutely fine with me. And last in this section here, and it would only apply to some of you, just make sure that your beard is the length that you want it. Being clean shaven or sporting a full beard really is going to be completely up to you. Just make sure that it's what you want before the cameras start rolling. Now, I have been asked to redo a video shoot. I've been asked to redo a photo shoot because the clients, they weren't happy with the length of their facial hair. One client regretted having a full beard during the shoot. Another client regretted that he didn't have a full beard during the shoot. So just make sure either way, make sure that your facial hair is the way that you want it before showing up on set. Moving on, in this section, I'm going to cover some of the tips and just some of the insider information about the filming process, what's going to happen on set, and hopefully some of these things will demystify what your day is going to look like, particularly if you've never been on set before. The first thing I'd share with you is that the video shoot is going to be so much easier and informal than you might think. It is going to be easy, and I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that it is. You're going to do fine. The last thing that I want you to do between right now and when you show up on set is to stress over this. I'm going to make it a fun experience for you, I promise. Now, during filming, if you do need a little time to fix your hair, you need to visit the bathroom or just take a break, it is absolutely no problem at all. Just let me know and we'll take a break. So never feel like you have to keep going if you don't want to. Now, we're going to film multiple takes, often from different angles and sort of the same action. Now, it's going to take a little longer, but we will definitely make sure that you look and sound great. Just a little FYI on that. Now, in addition to those multiple takes, I'm going to invest a lot of time, as well as my crew. We're going to invest some time in adjusting the lighting, the sound, the cameras, to make sure that you look and sound perfect. Now, once this is set up, we're going to move pretty quickly, but it does take time to make sure that everything is just right. Probably more time than you might think, and you'll thank us for it when you see the final video. The point here is that the setup and setting up video typically takes a lot longer than what people think that it would. I'll be honest with you, I wish it was as easy as just showing up and pressing the record button. when I arrive, but that is not real life. I wish that it was. That said, we're going to move as quickly and as efficiently as we can, and we're definitely going to respect your time. Now, you won't be on camera the entire time that you're on set, so feel free to bring a smartphone, a book, whatever is going to keep you occupied for when there is some downtime. For example, when we are setting up those lights, you're welcome to just kind of step aside, relax, do whatever, take a break. It's not a big deal. The next suggestion that I'd offer to you is to avoid being hangry when you're on set. Hangry is probably not found in the English dictionary, but most people know what it is. It's a combination of being hungry and angry. More specifically, you're angry because you're hungry. I can get like that, so I can definitely relate. To avoid that, what I would suggest you do is just bring a sensible snack before the cameras start rolling. I wouldn't suggest eating a full course meal, surf and turf jambalaya, or a whole pizza, although that might be good. Just consider maybe bringing a snack or two with you when you're on set. Not a big deal. If you get a little hungry, feel free to nosh. After the video shoot is kind of over, the two questions I get more than any others are, when can I see the video, and is everything that you filmed, is it going to be in the video? The answer to the first question is the video is probably going to be made available within probably 2 to 3 weeks after we get done filming. You'll be able to find it on YouTube. If you search my name, Jeremy Tuber, you should be able to find it pretty quickly. If you're not able to find it for whatever reason, feel free to drop me a line. I'll be happy to provide you with a direct link to it. The second answer there is, and it might surprise you, is that not everything we film will actually be in the video. That doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. Oftentimes, the video editor, oftentimes that's me, I might not like the way that something is framed, or somebody might have bumped the tripod, or whatever the case is. The truth is that most people don't know this, is that 90% of the footage that we film, it'll never make it into the final cut of the video, and I guess that's showbiz. The good news is that the remaining 10% that we have, it's going to look really good. And kind of the last thing, and this is really, really important, is that I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that you get in and out as fast as possible. I will respect your time. Now, in return, I'm going to ask that you arrive and you depart when you're scheduled to. So last minute changes, for example, somebody saying, oh, hey, sorry, I'm late, and oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you that I got to leave early. And I know that life can get in the way, but let me share with you that when that happens, it causes a major challenge in the schedule and everything that's been planned out. So please arrive a little early. And if it's been agreed to that you're going to be on set for an hour, whatever that time is, make sure that you stay for that hour, for whatever time that we've agreed upon. More than anything else, people not showing up on time, unexpectedly saying, hey, I gotta leave early, I didn't know, but now I'm telling you, or worst case scenario, they don't show up at all, causes major, major heartburn for everyone on set. So if you could help me out in this area, I genuinely would be very grateful. Okay, so now I'm going to talk with you about something that everyone is at least a little apprehensive about. Everyone's got some butterflies, and that's being interviewed on camera. The good news here is that I will make it stress-free and easy. Now, I know that you probably have your doubts, and that's okay, but I promise you that I will help you through this thing. Now, jokes aside, sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings on camera in an interview can be frightening, scary, whatever word you want to use, and I know it firsthand. Now, if you feel that way right now, that's okay. However, I hope that you're going to take some comfort in knowing that I really do. I specialize in working with people who have never been on camera before, or who are a little bit nervous about being in front of the camera and the lights. And honestly, I really don't like being in front of the camera either, so yeah, I do. I know exactly how it feels. So let me reassure you that during our talk while these cameras are rolling, it's going to feel a lot less like an interview, like you're being interrogated, and more like a casual conversation, just kind of like we would have at a coffee house. In fact, you're not even going to have to look directly into the camera lens and speak, which is a little bit scary, like I'm doing right now. That can definitely be intimidating. Instead, you and I are just going to sit across from each other, and I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to look directly at me instead of looking at the camera lens, and it'll be like we're just chatting. So you won't have to memorize any lines. You're not going to have to read off a teleprompter, nothing like that. It's just going to be you and me. We're going to be talking, and that's really about it. Now, everyone, and I mean everyone, screws up during an interview, and including me. As I'd mentioned, I frequently do. The good news is that I know all of these tips and tricks that can discreetly hide those stumbles, imperfections, even if you forget while what you're talking about right in the middle of a sentence. I can make those editing fixes in post-production. No one will ever know about it. I can do some pretty cool things when it comes to editing your video, so you are going to be in good hands. And during the interview, if you don't like an answer that you just gave, it's not a problem at all. We can just re-record it, and again, no one will ever see, no one will ever know. In fact, the raw footage of you going through the interview with me as we're just talking back and forth, the only person who's probably going to see it is me or maybe a team member of mine. And trust me, I have seen it all before. People stumbling through the interview, stuttering because they were anxious. Some people having to do exercise, jumping jacks, because they have to burn off nervous energy. Some people forget what they're talking about right in the middle of the answer. Some keep asking for breaks because they've got dry mouth. The list goes on and on. I've even crashed and burned while I was on camera. So yeah, I know exactly what it's like to be nervous. So I've seen it all before. So just relax. It'll be okay now. And look, we're all human. And because speaking on camera isn't what you do for a living, it's normal that you're not going to be as good as a news anchor who's been on camera for 4 or 5 years. So what I want you to know is that you don't have to be perfect. I really do. I joke with clients that if you can string 2 sentences, just 2 sentences together, we're going to get through this just fine. I will do the rest when I edit the video. You will be amazed at what can be done. If you can string 2 sentences together, we're going to be okay. Now, when people see your final interview, they're going to swear that you were a calm, cool, collected professional who didn't make any mistakes at all. I'm going to make sure that you look and sound like a rock star. You watch. It may surprise you, but I have interviewed over 200 people, and almost all of them say the same thing. The interview was so much easier and fun than they ever imagined. Some of them actually get mad at themselves so much because they stressed about something they had no business stressing out about. So again, my encouragement to you is just to relax. We're just going to talk about something that you either know, you love, perhaps it's your brand, it's your practice, it's your passion, it's your business, or if you're a patient or a customer or client of one of my clients, we're just going to talk about your story and perhaps your experience with my client. Okay, so now I want to share with you some interview tips with you. It's important to kind of think about these additional interview tips because whether you're a seasoned veteran or this is the first time you've been in front of the camera, you do want to practice a little bit, kind of your responses. Just think about what you're going to say just a little bit. You don't have to stress out about it, but you want to do this before the day of the shoot. Now, regardless of what you're going to be talking about when you get on camera, your video interview is definitely going to come out a lot better than expected if you just do a little bit of thinking about it. Just kind of the main points about what you're going to be saying. If you're one of my clients, I will have sent over the interview questions ahead of time, so you'll have more than enough time to kind of go through those. If you have any questions or concerns, you're welcome to let me know, and we can kind of go through those. If you need me to resend those, I'll be more than happy to do that as well. Conversely, if you're not one of my clients, but you're being asked by one of my clients, maybe you're one of their patients or customers or clients, all I'm going to ask you to do is just kind of think about your experience or your story in working with my client. Like, why did you contact them? What did they do for you? How has your life been improved by working with them or whatever that relationship is? And maybe what would you like others to know about your experience in working with them? So the bottom line is, either way, whether you're a client of mine or you're being asked by one of my clients, if you just give a little bit of thought to what you're going to be saying on camera, just those main points, you're going to do a heck of a lot better than winging it. By the way, don't wing it. I would advise you not to wing it. In fact, for those of you who are kind of overachievers who do want to make sure that you're really, really ready for the interview, I would suggest maybe considering doing a practice run. And what that might look like is have someone read the interview questions to you. You can kind of sit in front of them. If you don't have someone, you can sit in front of a mirror and answer those questions. While you're answering those questions, kind of look at the other person and maintain good eye contact. If you're in front of a mirror, I guess you look at yourself. Again, if you're one of my clients, you're going to have those interview questions ahead of time. If you're being asked by one of my clients to appear on camera, maybe to provide a testimonial is oftentimes what we'll do. Just focus on answering those questions like, how do you know my client? How have they helped you? and why would you maybe recommend others work with them? Now, if you do practice, which again, I am highly recommending that you do, not a lot, but a little bit, try to make the time that you're practicing as much like an interview as possible. And that means sitting still, no fidgeting or rotating, and trying to stay away from words like or which I just said so you got me. Here's the real trick with the interviews, and this is something that I would suggest that all of you practice. It's something that a lot of people don't, but it gets them into trouble, and that's incorporating some of my question in your answer or your response. Now, I'm going to give you an example because that's kind of hard to wrap your head around. So if I ask the question, how did you get started in this business? I would need you to respond with something like this. I got started in this business when I was just getting out of college. Now, I'll give you another example. Perhaps I might ask you, how would you describe your clients? And your answer might start something like this. Our clients are really great people, and I've known them for years, and I love getting to know them. The reason why it's so important for you to incorporate this technique of incorporating my question into your answer, particularly at the beginning of your answer, is that in the final video, my voice, my questions, they will be edited out. No one's actually going to see me and no one's going to hear me. They're just going to see and hear you. So if I asked you, how would people describe you? And you just responded with, well, professional, responsive, and caring. That wouldn't be an answer that I could use because all the people who are watching the video, they're just going to hear your answer. They wouldn't have any real context to why you said that. They would have no idea why you said that or what it meant. So let's say that I ask you the same question. How would people describe you? And you just responded with, well, people would describe me as professional, responsive, and caring. Now that is an answer that that's an answer that I could use. That would work perfectly. And that's what I mean by incorporating the question in part of your answer. Something that we obviously don't do a lot of, so it takes a little bit of practice. So I'd highly recommend you do that. Now for extra credit, and you only need to watch this if you are one of my clients. Two of the more difficult things in the interview is starting and finishing the interview with some style. So the first part of that is just introducing yourself, and the second part is closing the interview. And a lot of times people, if they don't practice, they just don't know where to go, and it's a little awkward. So these can be a little bit challenging, but if you do practice them a little bit, they're going to be a breeze, and I'm going to give you kind of the formula of what to kind of think about ahead of time. First, practice introducing yourself, and here's the formula. Who are you? What are you? Where do you do what you do? And maybe if you want to, throw in a little something else about your business, your practice, your team, yourself, your tagline. That's a lot that I've thrown at you. So let me give you a couple of examples. Hi, I'm Dr. Pat Middleton, and I've been practicing periodontics in Phoenix, Arizona since 2007, and I have the friendliest office in town. Okay, so that's one example. How about this one? Hi, I'm Dr. Pat Middleton. I am a board-certified plastic surgeon in Flagstaff, Arizona. I've been in practice since 2010, and I love putting my patients at ease. Try maybe one or two more just to give you some examples. Hi, I'm Pat Middleton. I am the CEO of XYZ Company. If we build it, they will come, and we have been proudly serving the Tucson area since 2004. Now let's see if I can do maybe one more. Hi, this is film marketer Jeremy Tuber from tubervideo.com and ddsvideo.com. I have been working with small business owners and healthcare professionals since 2014, and I love helping them share their passion, their story to their target market. I absolutely love making sure that they look like and they sound like rock stars in their own profession. Okay, so there are a couple of examples for you. Now, at the end of the video, we want to invite people who have just watched your video to do business with you, to take that next step, to schedule an appointment, to make a phone call, whatever it is in your process. We want to encourage them to do that. So marketing professionals, they call that a call to action, or CTA. We want to make it very clear. We want to make it very easy for your target market to take that next step in contacting you. So that's what we're going to focus on as we wrap up your video. Now, the formula for that is, thank people for watching the video. Beyond that, you say, look, if you have this problem, then do this. You're going to get this benefit. That's a lot to throw at you. Here are some examples. So, hey, thanks for allowing me to share a little bit about our practice with you. If you are having back pain, If you've gone to see other chiropractors but haven't found any relief, I invite you to come in, visit us. You can do that by calling 602-555-5555. We've had a lot of success in getting patients out of pain. We'd love to help you as well. That's the first one. Let's try another one. Our practice accepts most insurance, so if you have felt that your smile isn't all that it could be, call us at 480-555-5555 for an initial visit. We'll run diagnostics, take pictures, and then we can talk to you about how we can help you create that radiant smile that you've always wanted. Maybe one more. If your small business would benefit from having a unique app built on the iOS or Android platform, you can email us at build@xyzcompany.com or call 623-555-5555. We have over 10 years of building first-rate apps, and we'd love to talk with you about creating an interface that will impress the heck out of your customers. As a final note, these calls to action, they don't necessarily have to be featured in your video, but marketing professionals will tell you that they are very, very effective. If you're not comfortable recording one or you don't want to do one, I'm certainly not going to force you. Now, conversely, if you'd like some help on putting one of these together, I'm more than happy to do it. I've been in marketing for a very, very long time, so I'm used to putting these together. If that's something that you'd like to do, you want to talk to me ahead of the day that we're filming, but I'm happy to walk you through that if that's something you'd like. That's it. That's all I've got. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I've had a lot of fun sharing it with you. I look forward to working with you on set. Please, between now and when you arrive on set, please don't stress about any of this. You're going to do great on camera. I am going to absolutely make sure that you do, and I'm looking forward to working with you.